Alright everybody, welcome back. This is HD. This is the HD pregame show, and we just saw IdrA versus NonY. Both of the players duked it out on Kulas Ravine, and unfortunately for NonY, he made his push, but it never really counted. He got surrounded by the Zergling flank from IdrA, and unfortunately for him, he allowed Zerglings into his main base, all of his probes absolutely getting destroyed. That hurt him really bad, and IdrA just made a very, very easy push with those Hydralisks, and so we are going to be moving on to game number 2. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the live cast so far, and once again, make sure to check out our sponsor, IdrA. Second match. One, special thing that we have seen in IdrA versus NonY in the TSL is when IdrA actually canceled his command center when NonY sent a probe out. So one has to wonder, are we going to see some epic feats of strength this game, where perhaps IdrA will cancel his hatchery? So, all right.
Yeah. For those of you who didn't see the TSL, in the finals, one of the games, IdrA, he played Terran back then, he actually canceled a command center within the first 3 or 4 minutes of the game. It was too funny, and, well, not funny if you're IdrA, but funny for the rest of us. And so he definitely wants revenge after something like that. But yeah, here's Scrap Station, and I'm going to be holding up the load times here, because for some reason, every time you restart StarCraft, it does slow down the load time. But yeah, Scrap Station, a very interesting map, very fun to watch, and I could not ask for better players to be playing on this map right now. And one thing, IdrA spawning in the right side as the green Zerg, and once again, orange Protoss, top center, going to be NonY.
That is right. Now, because the map is Scrap Station, one would imagine perhaps NonY is going to opt to go for that Phoenix build because of the close proximity between the two bases. Likewise, IdrA also has the option of going some fast air, perhaps Mutas, but the one thing I've noticed about IdrA, I've never really seen him use Mutas before, so who knows?
I don't think I've ever seen him go a Mutalist build. I'm sure he has. I mean, of course he's going to practice using them. And if there's any map that we're going to see air on, I would assume it's going to be this map just because of that really short rush distance air. I mean, look, that Overlord's already halfway to the base. And so if you guys are holding and praying for the Phoenix build, I really think this is the most common map it will happen on. And one thing to note really quick is actually NonY is walling in, which we've seen a lot of players recently not do that. He did a like super tight wall in last game. Ended up really costing him, I would say.
Yeah, that Wallen, once he let the Zealot kind of out, he really let the Zergling slip in and attack his probe line. That was definitely a costly attack to him, and I think that's probably the main reason why he lost game number 1. Now, there's a lot to be said for momentum, especially in StarCraft. If you win your first game, odds are you've got the confidence, you've got the know-how, and basically you've got everything you need to win the second game. Now, the question is NonY thrown off of his tracks a little bit? Is he a bit concerned? Is he a little bit, is his confidence shaken? And is that going to change his build a little bit?
If I was NonY right now, which I'm not NonY, so, take it for what it's worth, but I really think he needs to not try and play these straight-up macro games, which is exactly what IdrA is looking to do. It does look like NonY has a probe here, throwing down that pylon. He doesn't even wait for the drone to get there, so that drone's got to show up, be angry. This is the kind of stuff you have to do against IdrA. Throw him off of his build a little bit, get him a little worked up and, angry, and then that's what you take advantage of. Because if he tries to go straight up against heavy macro, I think the same results could happen in Game 2 as happened in Game 1.
I really like how NonY threw down that pylon before he even saw the drone get in range. So he already predicts, he knows that IdrA is going to go 15 pool, 16 hatch. So he just said, screw it, I'm going to throw my pylon at just the right time to annoy IdrA. And now IdRA's going to have to adapt his build. He's not going to be able to grab that fast expansion, even with this drone poking away at that pylon. So now you guys can see he has thrown down a gas, and we'll see what he opts to go for, because he's going to have to change up just a little bit now. Meanwhile, back at NonY's base, he's thrown down the same thing, fast cyber after the gateway, and we'll see if he decides to go for that NonY Phoenix build.
Yep, so far he is doing a pretty standard opener here. He did lose the 100 minerals on the pylon. That is something very important to note. I believe he lost his scouting probe just now as well. And so he is not going to be in the best shape here. I mean, of course, he's really adapting his build to lose that pylon, but technically he is going to be behind. But I'm really curious to see what kind of buildings he's going to start throwing down. I do like the Overlord coverage of IdrA. I mean, he's got one at the natural, he's got one at the top of the base, one at the right side. So if there's going to be any Phoenix play, IdrA's going to know about it ASAP, and I don't think he's going to get up here with these Zerglings, but that's just really smart play, I think, by IdrA, doing a little bit of research on NonY and being prepared for it.
Yeah, and just as you said that, we do have a Stargate coming up. Now, note this is only one Stargate into a second gateway, but I think this is what he did against Moonglade, and we might expect to see a second Stargate go up pretty soon, and then he might be thinking about pumping out those Phoenixes. Or he might try to completely go something weird, which we don't see NonY do, and maybe pump out a fast Void Ray, like what IdrA tried to do against TLO. So the options are limitless.
But the problem right now is the hatchery is so delayed. Even if he starts making a queen right now, which I'm not, well, he hasn't started one yet, probably will be soon. It is a Phoenix on the way, by the way. But it's just so much delayed that, oh, he actually has a queen. It's slowly inched its way all the way down there already. And so can this Phoenix make something happen? He actually has it rallied, I believe, to start killing Overlords. He has it rallied to the far left side. So he may continue to produce these. Yeah, he has a second one on the way already. So he's just going to be hunting Overlords. So I was saying good spread of his Overlords, but it could be pretty detrimental here if he loses all three of these.
Right, now what is IdrA going to do now that he sees these Phoenixes in play? He knows exactly what he's up against. I'm sure he studied the game where NonY played against Moonglade, and NonY beat Moonglade quite convincingly. And so I'm sure he knows, hey, Mass Spine